could XPR hypothetically reach the price of 25 cents this year in 2025? I think maybe, even though that's not financial advice. The reason that I have for that, right, is because I've taken a look back in history. And I do know that usually, historically speaking, altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Keep in mind, we're not even a year removed yet from the last Bitcoin halving event that happened in April of last year. So if you think about that, April of 2024, you add 18 months on top of that, that's around October of this year, again in 2025, theoretically, in which case altcoins could very well peak as a worst case scenario. Now, that's why I do believe that this year could be very special. Now, it's not a guarantee though, because things usually happen when they want to happen, right? There's no telling the future, in my opinion. But even though history doesn't always repeat itself, in my opinion, it does tend to rhyme. And when I take a look at this, yes, again, October could theoretically be a date when things peak as a worst case when it comes to altcoins. But things could maybe always happen a little bit later, which would be fine because I'll accumulate more. I'll dollar cost average more, right? I'll accumulate anytime an income, hold, and I just wait. However, in a better case scenario, it could always happen a little bit earlier, again, which would be awesome. But regardless, if it happens later, I'll be able to accumulate more. But then if it happens earlier, I'm not going to complain either. I'm not going to be like, oh man, I could have accumulated a month's worth or 2 months more. Nah, you know what? It is, right? So the way I take a look at it is that, again, I'm more so taking a look at a time frame of near the end of 2025. And again, it could happen whenever. I understand that, but I'm still very bullish on this. And why would I not? Because even if we take a look at the XPR network, it may not necessarily be considered a cool or fun or like enticing or exciting project. The way you take a look at it is that there's beauty and simplicity. Because if we take a look at the XPR network, what is it, right? It's a proof of stake layer 1 blockchain, which some people may think, yeah, who cares about that, right? I mean, that's not even that interesting. Well, the special thing about it is that when you take a look at the XPR network, it is ISO 20022 compatible as a blockchain. Now, why does this matter? It's because when you take a look at that again, right, ISO 20022, the special thing about it is that it is currently being used by many financial institutions from all around the world for inter-organizational data exchange. So this is something that's very widespread. It is being used a lot, I would argue. And when you take a look at, again, this being compatible as a blockchain with that, right? I mean, this is telling something, in my opinion. It showcases that it's a real deal project. You know, it's a thumbs up for me. Not to mention, we have to take a look at XPR deeper because it gets a little bit more interesting. Take a look at how, for instance, it's even been stated that the XPR network provides an alternative to traditional payment systems like ACH and SWIFT or Visa and MasterCard through an innovative resource model. So as I begin to say all of this, I think it's pretty evident that this is a project that's very similar in nature to a Stellar, aka XLM, and as well as a Ripple, aka XRP. Not such a bad thing though, because when you take a look at Ripple and Stellar, what are two markets that they're mainly focused on? Global trade and finance, and as well as the payments market, much like XPR. And it's not a bad market, and it's on the rise too, because now people are no longer scared about, the Ripple and SEC case. Take into consideration that the payments market is currently valued at over $2 trillion. So that's massive right there. I mean, that's really impressive. Take a look at the GDP of Canada back in 2023. That was around $2 trillion. Not to mention the AI market, which we all think is going to be massive, including me, theoretically, right? I can't speak on everyone's behalf, but even that is not even anywhere near that massive currently, at least according to some sources. Because if we take a look at, for instance, Grandview Research, they have a prediction as to what the AI market could be worth by 2030, which is actually slightly under $2 trillion. Just think about that. The payments market currently is valued more than what the AI market is predicted to be worth by Grandview Research in 2030. I mean, just let that sink in. If the payments market is already this massive right now, just imagine what it could be in 2030. It could be amazing. So when people say that AI projects are the real deal, I agree that some are good, but really the payments market is very fantastic. Now, not to mention the global trade and finance market, that right there is predicted to reach up to $5 trillion in value by 2028, according to Mordor Intelligence. So when you take a look at, these two markets, they're actually very amazing. And the crazy thing about it is that when it comes to XPR, it still has a chance to really do amazing. The reason being is because of the Ripple and SEC case, not many developers were willing to join in on this space. And as a result, we have a very top-heavy market, meaning that it's actually a very impressive market that had a lot of fear and FUD. But then because of that, now there's only two dominating players, Ripple and Stellar. Really no clear like third or fourth or fifth place, I would argue, right? It's still kind of up for grabs. So when you take a look at something like XPR, it still has a chance. When you take a look at when Dogecoin and Shiba Inu were dominating the meme coin space, there was still a chance for number 3, number 4, number 5. You know what I mean? It kind of gives me that vibe, I would say. As of right now, it kind of feels like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, and then we're looking for a third or fourth place. Many people now would argue that it's Pepe, but as of right now, within this space, it's still up for grabs. Am I saying that XPR is going to be like top 5 or anything like that? I'm not guaranteeing that because there is some competition out there. For instance, like Zebic, there's XCN. You take a look at XDC, for instance. There are some competitors there. But really beyond that, it's not like there's this plethora, right? Or this large selection of, dynamic competitors. It's not a buffet here. You know what I mean? When you take a look at other markets or other sectors, it's like a buffet. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. There are just a bunch of options. Take a look at, for instance, the NFT space. There are so many competitors. I mean, really, people can't just say, hey, yeah, this is for sure top 10, because some people may argue otherwise, right? But then within this space, I think automatically, because it doesn't have that many competitors, it automatically makes XPR top 10, in my opinion, right? It doesn't really mean much because when you take a look at XPR, it's not like the market cap is that massive, but still, I think because the lack of competition means that it's basically top 10 right now. Now, of course, being top 5 would be a lot better, but I'm just saying this could be something special. Now, also, when you take a look at other sectors like, DeFi, like, blockchain gaming, again, there's so many competitors in this space. There isn't really that many. And I do really like that aspect. Now, even though I do think that DeFi and like, NFT space, they have a lot of competition, it doesn't necessarily mean that having applications regarding them are really bad, because if you take a look at the XPR network, it has the possibility, it's been stated, right, that it can be used for various applications such as DeFi as well as gaming. Yeah, not too bad though, because even though there's a lot of competitors there, you got to take a look at how the DeFi market is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. And they also predict, again, Grandview Research, by that year, the blockchain gaming market is expected to be worth over $300 billion. So this is very impressive in my opinion. And the way I take a look at it is that, again, XPR is a no-brainer pick for me. Absolutely amazing. And when there's over 600 million crypto owners as of right now, according to Crypto.com research, I highly doubt that this board is going to be bad. Again, I think that this space is on the rise, especially now that people are no longer scared of the Ripple and SEC case. This is a no-brainer pick for me. And again, XPR at the price of 10 cents during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And theoretically, sometime in 2025, could this be amazing? Maybe. Only time will tell. But I'm very bullish on it. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Malik the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.